Hello, so my name is Victoria Johnson, and I'm covering chapter one of the textbook, which was the brain and math learning. One of the words that stuck out for me was brain plasticity. It is a belief that the brains that people were born with could not be changed. So, this was a belief in scientists for a very long time. Now, when I say change, I'm not saying like they can't learn any more information, but they're just referring to the sizing of the brain. Like your brain cannot grow. Whatever information you can get in there is just what you can get in there, and that's it. And that's what make people smart, and that's what makes people dumb is the size of their brain. So that was the original belief. Researchers started researching different companies, and one of the companies that they researched was the Black Cab Drivers Company in London. So, I have included a picture for you guys, and this company, in order to become a cab driver here, you have to study for 2 to 4 years, memorize 25,000 streets, 20,000 landmarks, and all this is done within a 25-mile radius, and it's in the middle of London. Okay. So they have to take 2 to 4 years to study, and then you get a test entitled the Knowledge, and it's referred to as one of the most rigorous courses known to anyone. And sometimes you have to take it several times just before passing. So, with that, and knowing that these people had to study for 2 to 4 years, scientists started realizing something and realized that brain plasticity was not a real thing. And the reason that they figured it out is because it's possible for your brain to grow. And not only just grow, but it can also regrow and structurally change to make new connections. So when they started researching the cab drivers, they realized that while they were doing the driving and studying, their brain grew. However, when the cab drivers retired or quit the Black London Cab Company, their brains shrank back down to original size. So, this type of research was the basis that shaped educational research and the way that educators need to teach their students in today's society. So, we need to be teaching on the mindset of the brain can grow and the brain can change. Scientists even found out that the brain can change in as little as 3 weeks. So, if you can get a student's brain to grow in 3 weeks, just imagine what you can do with 36 weeks in a school year. So, what exactly happens to the brain? So, there is this thing called synaptic activity that is happening in the brain. And what happens is synapses fire when learning is happening. This doesn't have to be just inside the classroom, but it's also outside the classroom as well. It could be any type of connections, as in you could be talking to somebody about your favorite movie. And if it's material that you do not know, that can cause some synapses firing. Okay. With that being said, deeper learning is what's really, really needed for the brain to grow. Okay. So, deeper learning of any content, including math, will initiate synaptic activity and thus resulting in lasting connections. However, if you only visit an idea once or twice or you just brush across it, then the synaptic connection can be washed away from the brain. And some examples of superficial learning would include cramming before a test and then brain dumping on the test. And sometimes I can speak for me, I have brain dumped on a test and could not tell you anything that I had previously learned. And that's because there was no connection that was formed. So, with this being said in this research, it goes to prove that everyone with the right teacher, deeper learning, and right message can be successful math learners. So, we need to do away with the idea that some kids are smart and some kids are dumb. Everybody has the potential to learn. Okay. Now, this does not mean that everybody is born with the same brain. Everybody's not born with the same size brain. However, every student does have the ability to learn the same amount of information as the next student, regardless of their brain size and differences. So here's a fun fact. Did you know that Albert Einstein, who we consider to be a genius, did not learn how to read until he was 9 years old? In the United States, that would be about third grade. And we start teaching kids how to read in first. So this is very, very odd if we consider him to be a genius. So, how does this happen? Well, he speaks about his achievements, and based on the number of mistakes that he made, along with his persistence to do better, he was able to correct all of his mistakes. This is known as a growth mindset, which is what we need to have in our students. So, this is a different approach. It contains positive messages and positive thinking, and it just wants kids to believe in themselves. The whole idea behind being gifted, some kids are smarter than others, that needs to cease to exist. Everybody has the power to learn the same amount if you apply yourself. And also about being equitable. So we have stereotypes in research that have shown that some are more gifted and advanced, and there will be a decline in female presence when it comes to being gifted and advanced. We have to do away with that because women are just as capable as men, particularly in mathematics. I have seen that myself. Okay, so when we saw the research, 40% of the students had a fixed mindset. This fixed mindset is extremely damaging because it allows the students to think that they are not capable of doing any more work, or it hinders them from trying to have more challenging tasks. So it's very important to try to fix the student's mindset to have a growth mindset so they can learn how to persevere, persist, and be successful math learners in the classroom. Some ideas that help with that and increase brain activity would be praise. So if you continue to praise your students, that does increase the mindset. However, if you only praise them for doing well, but then you chastise them for calling them dumb when they don't do well, then that does create a fixed mindset. So be careful with the praise and more so lean to encouragement and trying to have positive encouragement to allow the students to continue to persevere. So more so falling away from the good job, I'm so proud of you, to, well, how did you do it today? What can we do to make it better tomorrow? We can persist. We've got this. That's kind of the praise that we're looking for. Also, from 0 to 3 years old, praise is indicative of the mindset that will exist during their matriculation years. So, how you praise, how you talk to your child when they are very, very young follows them through school. So, if you chastise them for doing bad or you get upset for them not doing well, then they'll have that mindset when they get into school, which also is one of the reasons why some of the students struggle to answer out in class because of their fear of being wrong, because of some of the way that they were raised in the culture at home. Understanding the importance of a growth mindset and mathematical mindset will change the students' thinking, and not only change their thinking, but also result in being successful math learners. And that is chapter 1. Thank you.